It is said, love the world as your own self. Then you can truly care for all things. Hi, today I'm with a wonderful poem, Rain on the Roof, written by Coates King. Coates Kenny was born on 24th November 1826. He was an American lawyer, politician, journalist, and poet who wrote Rain on the Roof. He wrote poetry, and his verses were collected in Kuka and other poems, and lyrics of the ideal and the real. Of his verses, The Rain on the Roof, which was set to music, was the most popular. He died in Ohio in 1904. Coates Kenny, in his poem Rain on the Roof, tries to relate the rain to his past memories, which are both sweet and bitter. In the poem The Rain on the Roof, the poet expresses his boundless admiration for the nature. He is so fascinated by the endears of the nature that he describes the sounds of the rain as rhythmic and enchanting. He tributes the healing power of the rain as it soothes and pleases his heart and mind. Through this poem, the poet communicates us the pleasing as well as dejected recollections of his childhood. He then appreciates the music of rain and the awesome effect it has on human emotions and imagination. Now, close your eyes and enjoy listening the poem. When the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears, what a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed, and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and a thousand dreamy fancies into busy being start, and a thousand recollections weave their air threads into woof. As I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof, now in memory comes my mother, as she used in years agone to regard the darling dreamers, ere she left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I listen to this refrain, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. Now open your eyes. Now let's try to understand the poet's ideas in the first stanza. Through these lines, the poet tries to describe how he feels on a rainy day. Resting in his cottage room, the poet observes the moist darkness lingering all over the twinkling sky at night. Such scenery gives a sad feeling to the poet. But then the poet says that this depressed or gloomy night gradually drifts away when it starts raining. At this point of time, the poet expresses the pleasure to bury in the pillow and lay paying attention to the rhythm of the soft rain. The sound made by the raindrops when falling on the roof spellbinds the poet. The poet immerses himself in the musical patterns of the dropping rain. To the poet, the dark sky resembles sadness, and he compares the raindrops to tears. In the second stanza, through these lines, it is clear that the poet is a great admirer of nature. Every drop of rain that falls on the roof is like a delicate ringing sound. He is so overjoyed that even his heartbeat finds resonance with the pattern of the rain. The poet is so fascinated by the rhythm of the raindrop that as he listens to the tapping of the rain upon the roof, 1,000 memories of the past start overflowing back to form a beautiful picture. The poet recollects about his love filled childhood. In the third stanza, as the poet recalls about his love filled childhood, he remembers his loving mother, who is no more. She was so affectionate towards the poet and his sibling that she would gaze at them sleeping till the beginning of the next day. The memories of his loving mother are all-time favorite, and the poet recalls these memories as a catchphrase when he listens to the tapping of the rain upon the roof. Now let's discuss the poetic devices used. First, we'll be discussing the rhyme scheme. Rhyme, it utilizes repeating patterns to bring out rhythm or musicality in poem. So poets on writing a poem use either rhyme scheme or free verse. Now there are many poetic devices used in poem like alliteration. Alliteration is used in this poem. It is nothing but the use of the same consonant sounds at the beginning of each word. Then we have onomatopoeia. It is used in poetry to create oral or hearing effects that mimic the visual image described. The next one is personification. Personification is attributing human characteristics to an inanimated object, animal, or abstract ideas. Then transferred epithet is used. It is a figure of speech in which a modifier qualifies a noun other than the person or thing it is actually describing. Finally, metaphor is used. Metaphors describe a person or object by referring to something that is considered to have similar characteristics to that person or object. I have given all these here. You can just go through. Rhyme, alliteration, onomatopoeia, personification, transferred epithet, and metaphor. Now, let's discuss the literary devices used in the poem. The rhyme scheme in the poem is A, B, C, B, D, E, and F, E. Now, let's know how to find out the rhyme scheme. Let us take the first stanza. In line 1, the word hover doesn't rhyme with any of the words at the end of each line. So let us mark it as A. In line 2, spear rhymes with tears in line 4. So we'll mark both these lines as B. In line 3, darkness doesn't rhyme with any of the words. So let us mark it as C. In the same way, pillow in line 5 doesn't rhyme with any of the words. So let us mark it as D. In line 6, bed rhymes with overhead in the last line. So let us mark it as E. And in the 7th line, patter doesn't rhyme with any of the words, and so let us mark it as F. Hence, the rhyme scheme used in the poem is A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. Now let us see the poetic devices used in stanza 1. Here you can see in the first line, humid hover. The sound H is being repeated. It is the repetition of the consonant sound and it is the alliteration. In the same way, you can see in the second line the word starry spears. The phrase starry spears so is being repeated. And in this line you can see press pillow. pa sound is repeated. In the same way, here, lie listening, la sound is repeated. So these are the repetition of the initial consonant sounds. Hence, these are the alliterations used in stanza 1. Next, let us see onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is nothing but it is used in poetry to create oral or hearing effects that mimic the visual image described. So here you can see patter. Patter is the use of sound word. It is the sound made by the raindrop falling on the rooftop. Next we'll see the personification. Personification is nothing but attributing human characteristics to an inanimate object, animal or abstract idea. In line 3 you can see the melancholy darkness. It says that the darkness is sad. So it is clear that darkness has been personified by attributing human characteristics, sadness to an abstract idea. So this is the personification used. So let's now talk about the transferred epithet. A transferred epithet is a figure of speech in which a modifier qualifies a noun other than the person or thing it is actually describing. In line 3, again, the melancholy darkness, meaning sad darkness. So melancholy is the adjective that qualifies the abstract noun darkness. To understand better, darkness cannot be sad. But here the poet has used because melancholy might add to the depressed feeling of the poet. So this is the transferred epithet. Now let's move on to the second stanza. First we will see the alliterations being used. You can see busy being in line 4 and here there threads, here rain roof. In all these you can see the initial consonant sound being repeated. Here ba sound is being repeated and here tha sound is repeated and here ra sound is repeated. So these are the alliterations used. Next we'll go to onomatopoeia. To create auditory effect, onomatopoeia is used in the first line as well as in the 7th line. The word tinkle and it is the sound made by the raindrop. Similarly, the word patter is the tapping sound made by the raindrop. So these two words, tinkle and patter, are onomatopoeia. Let's find out the personification used. Let's see the 5th line and the 6th line. And 1,000 recollections weave their air threads interwove. Recollection is personified by saying that recollection, which is not a human being, has a number of dreams. Secondly, in these two lines, it is clear that their air threads refer to 1,000 recollections given in the previous line. The poet is comparing memories to threads. Here, threads serve as metaphor. So this is the actually metaphor is the comparison. So here threads is being compared to the number of memories. Now let's see the transferred epithet used in line 3, dreamy fancies. The phrase dreamy fancy is the transferred epithet. So here dreamy is the adjective that qualifies the abstract noun fancies. To understand better, here dreamy might add to the distracted feelings of the poet. Now let's move on to the third stanza. Here you can see in the first line, ma sound is being repeated, and in the third line, da sound is being repeated. So these are the alliterations used. Again, if you see, as I discussed in stanza 1, The word patter is onomatopoeia, as it is the sound made by the rain, and this is the onomatopoeia used. I hope you would have enjoyed today's video. Please go through this poem again so that to have a better understanding. Thank you for watching.